YouTubers? We're back here on Saturday morning, grinding it out. You know, the blower really doesn't look too bad, but she's paid for and ready to rock and roll, and I'm going to have a nice clean ported blower ready to go in the car in a few weeks. So what I'm doing today is I'm just trying to strip everything off of it, get it stored so that I am ready to put it back together once it's once everything becomes available. So I'm just kind of parsing out the hardware here for now, making sure that I don't get anything mixed up, but I want to keep everything together so that when it comes back, I'll be able to put it back together very easily. So first thing I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to get these fuel rails out of the way, and more than likely once I do this, the injectors will come out with it, which is fine because I'm actually going to probably store it inside a plastic container for a few weeks, and the injectors won't dry out with that. So I'm just going to break these guys loose here and get this to the point where I can take this off. And again, this is the LS9 fuel rail, and the reason why I'm using the LS9 versus what a lot of other folks have used is because it actually puts the input to the fuel rail right where the original one is on the LS3. So you know, it may be closed up, but I don't have to do any funky bending or anything like that to get it to work. So I would highly suggest that. Actually, what I'm going to do, cheap plug. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Well, you probably are. If you do anything in a garage, you probably are. And sorry, I'm like way far away, but let me grab a battery here. I picked up from Harbor Freight. Everybody's talking about the Milwaukee ones. And, you know, without a doubt, Milwaukee is a phenomenal company. But it's a little bit more than what I wanted to spend at this point just because I'm trying to stay within a budget and get everything taken care of relatively quickly. So I got myself a Earthquake XT battery-powered impact gun. Ratchet. So it's quick charging. It's only 12 volts, so it's not going to shake the earth, but it's 60 foot-pounds. So that's pretty damn good. I mean, that'll definitely be able to break loose a lot of bolts that you have throughout the car. So I figured, why not? You know what? We'll give this a first shot here. So, okay, drive. There we go. Lefty loosey, and boom. Not too bad. Now, for stuff like this, it's a lifesaver because you just get things done faster. So let me shut up and get this to park it. All right. Oh, and we got to loosen our favorite one here up as well. Not too bad. Okay, so that one we got to be careful just because there's a lot of washers on it. So let me just rest this right here for right now. I don't want these washers to spill all over the place. So we get the hardware out. And we'll slide these guys forward, out of the way, so I can get my hands on them. There we go. And now we have this guy. Takes care of all of those. These guys they're not stock, you know, they're not the right ones for stock, but they, oh, look at that, there we go. Already dropped it, but that's okay. Get my mix in there. I like to wear the gloves because too many years of smacking hands, getting them unbelievably greasy takes its toll on you. But now, so basically the rail is free now, so I should be able to actually bring this up and pull the injectors out with it pretty easily, because I made sure that these were well lubricated before I put them in, and I haven't done anything with them since then. So they should come up. Yeah, see, came up very easily. So what I'm going to do is loosen these guys up. There we go, bring these forward. There you go. Driver's side is out. Boom, passenger side's out. Easy as pie. And just inspect the O-rings. None of them look cut. Everything looks still pretty good. Find number 10. Probably in my bag of tricks. Number 10. It's amazing. You buy new sets of sockets and everything every year, and every year I gotta buy more and more. Yeah, maybe because I'm a slob and I don't do a good enough job of of keeping things where they need to be. But there we go. And that's loose. There we go. That's nice and loose. Now let's see if we can let this bad boy do some of the work. Does it fit? Yes, it does. So that's a serious size. So what this will allow me to do is once it comes time to put this thing back together, I will make sure that the bypass valve is closed. And let's see, is there a, yep, rotate it all the way over, and boom, slides right out. Yay, look at that. All right, so here's the bypass valve. I couldn't get my hands in there easy enough to get this piece off the last time. And I believe that that bottom one is the one that needs to get capped. So I will keep this together. I'll keep everything with it in my in the storage box I got. And I got my bypass valve there, so I'll keep this with this guy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm removing all the gasketing and stuff like that I'm not going to be sending out to the guy. So this is the seal for the lid, and what this does, this comes down and seals on the brick, intercooler brick, for lack of a better term. So what happens is you know, the blower starts sucking air in. Basically, this thing, you know, you're rotating it with the engine. You're using engine power to produce power. Gets sucked in through the blower case, comes in. This is why a lot of guys port the inside of this, and I'm actually have a little bit of work done. So to come in, the screws will suck it in. It'll come up through and get shoved through the intercooler brick. And because this is sealed off, what it'll do is, and then it'll distribute on the back side of this case, come out, and then distribute to the cylinder heads out here. So this whole area will be under positive pressure. And what I want to do is I have an IAT sensor that you get when you buy the lid is sitting right there in this lid. So what I want to do is find out what my air intake temperature is from this one. So I'll end up getting a breakout harness that plugs into the setup that would normally be there, that you would normally use as part of your mass airflow sensor. So it's a 5-wire setup, the LS3, LS7 setup. I have an LS7 one, but I think the one that I have should be good. I'll fill you in on that, whether or not I was wrong on that. But anyhow, what I got to do now is I just got to get the rest of the old hardware that I had, that I used for this. So I had to get longer, because I was using the spacers on the cutlass. I had to get some longer bolts for the cutlass, because it had those 1/2-inch spacers in there. So I have a set of stockers that I can easily use. But what I'm going to end up doing, I think, because this is a little difficult to get these out, is I'm going to get these adapters out of the way, because last thing I need is to drop the supercharger down on those guys. That will make me feel very sad. So let me get this out of the way. I'm just going to put these over here so I know where they are. Alright guys, so we've got the blower stripped down. I'm just going to leave the gaskets on. Brett will be able to take these off. It just makes more sense. I'll just leave it there just to kind of protect the surface, blower surface, while it's being shipped. So I'm not going to bother drilling these out, because he can very easily knock them out, because he's probably done 8,000 of these blowers in his lifetime. So I'm going to do that. What I'm going to end up doing next is actually take care of stripping the blower lid. And then first what I'm going to do is get this guy boxed up, give myself a little bit of space. I got to build up some stuff underneath the box just to make sure this is protected. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but we'll get that together, and then we'll get the lid all boxed up and ready to go, because I have to put some of the hardware. I got to just make sure that I have all the hardware accounted for, and the sensors and stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned. What I'll do is once I get this boxed up, we'll come back and we'll do the blower lid. Okay, so here we are, stripped down, ready to rock and roll. I got all the sensors off. You can see on this side I basically stripped it down to bare bones. It doesn't have either pressure sensors in it, the baro sensor or the boost map sensor. Damn, it's dusty. And I pulled out the IAT. It's all saved. So this is basically ready to go. I got all the gaskets out of it. So what they're going to do, what the Jokerz is going to end up doing, is shaving this lid down a little bit to allow for the hood to close a little bit better. It ends up having a little bit of rubbing issues Probably not the end of the world, but I just want to make sure that the hood closes and doesn't have any issues like that. So what I'll do is I'll end up, once it's milled down, I'll paint that so that it's cleaner looking. But yep, I think we're ready to rock and roll. I'll get this boxed up and I'll take it over to UPS and spend a hell of a lot of money for a heavy-ass box. Stay tuned, guys. We'll have some more updates this weekend. I'm going to be going through some things, doing some cleaning, so let's just keep rocking and rolling. Parts are still coming in. Take care, like, comment, and subscribe.